Welcome to a dose of deeper contemplation. We have cultivated this self-healing practice as we navigate the many aspects of modern life with the desire to be a better human. As a psychic medium, these conversations are channeled, so let's take a walk together and talk it out. As we have arrived and venturing out in this morning time, we decided to start using the phrase welcome back instead of good morning. It just feels more true, and don't really want to imply that anyone is having a good morning, although at the most existential state of it, every morning is good. Every time we arrive back onto this planet, it is good. It certainly can be a good experience, but it is also a journey. So upon this arrival, out and about, started to roll over the list in our mind of all the things list. We also call this the to-do list, the things to do list. It's like a love-hate relationship, as they say, with the lists. On one side of our experience, lists are actually so pleasurable. There is a deep satiation of some satisfaction that we feel when we make a list and we cross things off. Oh, it feels so good. And it's very interesting because that has actually been studied in the human mind. What happens when we achieve accomplishments, big or small? There is actually a biological response that releases the different hormones or chemicals that the body has that experiences pleasure when we achieve something. This is essentially the model, the psyche model, if you will, that companies have developed video games around, because that feeling can actually become kind of addictive. Like, you want to keep having that feeling. And so you sit there and you play, and then you get it and you're like, I did it. Yes, feels so good. I want more. And then you click on the next level and the next level and the next level. There's probably some folks out there that can relate to this. Mom was this way with, I believe it was called Candy Crush. We got involved in this game one time, an app game that was about essentially running a restaurant. It was like a multitasking productivity type game, and it was extremely relatable because we used to be in the service industry. It was our early ages of income making was within restaurants. So we had this combination where we already had experience in the service industry, already had years and years and years of experience of multitasking as a single parent business owner, and many, many, many other things that this womb body does. And that deep thing inside of us that loves to cross things off of lists. Make lists feels good. Here's the structure. Here's the order. Let's create that, and then let's accomplish it. And in our deeper studies and understanding of energy, this is often referred to, this feeling, as the masculine, bringing in structure and order for the magic, what's flowing in through the feminine, to then be created. This is part of creation, and it's become so extremely powerful of an existence to have done the work to experience what that feels like, and now to see what we're truly capable of in full embodiment of not just that feeling, but also of the healing and the education and the knowledge that we have done to bring this understanding into embodiment and putting it into action. Our journey into the divine feminine and the sacred masculine has been a journey, a path, if you will, of that. If it was a formula, it would look something like feelings, the emotions, connecting to the feelings of knowing that both are embodied, connecting to healing, connected to knowledge, connected to embodiment, meaning taking this body and putting it into action in the service of this realization. See what happens. because it's an experiment. But so far, as an active participant in the study of this human experience formula, it's been pretty magical. As an experiment, maybe try making yourself a list one day. You could call it your magical list. And on that list would be the things that you feel would be a magical life. And after you write this list, you can just let it exist. Maybe go back and read it and reflect on it. Spend some time with that vision. Use your imagination and dream about what that would look like and what that would feel like. These different things on your magical list. You can even try reading that list out loud with some feeling behind it. And you could do this with an understanding that what you're doing is taking something that is in the thoughtless, the ethereal form, invisible form, and using your body, essentially, bringing that magic into the physical form. Even by simply writing it down, you are taking physical objects, that pen, that paper, and creating the words. Now you have a physical representation of that ethereal energy, and that is activating the magic in kind of a basic first step, that it would no longer, this list, be something just dreamily floating around in your own thoughts, but it would be in existence. It's here. It's touchable, it's seeable, it's doable, it's goable. We had a client who was working with us on some of his manifestations, and on the regular, when we would check in with him in his sessions, he would say, "Oh no, everything is manifesting. It's all happening." Just so delightful for him to see the magic within himself. And by reading that list that you have written down, you are also now putting your energy through your body, through your voice, and casting that out through sound waves. Another way of bringing that ethereal energy into physical energy. What we'll share with you is that for ourselves, that feeling, that's like a micro dose, let's say, of the feeling of just having your basic domestic to-do list, and how it feels to cross off those things and have those accomplishments and be like, oh gosh, okay, what's next? Having that moment, right? Having that moment of feeling good in that accomplishment. And if that feels good, just crossing off the list to like organize your sock drawer, well, it has felt bewildering to see the same thing when we cross something off of our magical life list, because something that was once very dreamy and a deep desire, just a vision, is actually now happening. Sometimes it takes us a minute to like see it and get it because it rarely comes in the package we think. But the surrender into that is also part of the magic. Receiving. Because sometimes we can make our to-do list pretty long, and that we make this list feeling like we are the ones who have to do all of the things on this list. But that the magical list can be a co-creation, and that there are waves and times of being in action and receiving, that there can be waves of time to be in action, inspired action, in the doing of things. And then there are ways of time to sit back and be with that magical list. Just be in the vision of it, be in the co-creation and the communion and the conversation, in the meditation with energy, and say, willing to receive some of these things on the magical list, or some of these steps that would help progress these magical things on the to-do list. It's an interesting type of experiment to believe in your dreams enough that you write them down, and that you invite magic to be a part of how that list would become your existence. Thank you so much for being in this contemplation. This is Deep Dose, and we are Eden.